Hello everyone, my name is Daniel and welcome back to another 5th grade worksheet. Uh, Today we're going to be starting off with comparing fractions, right? Less than, greater than, or equal to for each highlighted part. Um, so here we have, yeah, this should be pretty easy. Basically you're just comparing the fractions. Like if, for example, if I were to give you 1/2, right? And then you had to write in what it was, compare it to 1/3. What you would do here is you would convert both of these so they both have the same common denominator. So here we would have 3/6. Uh, Compare that to 2/6. So now we get to see which one is greater and which one is smaller. And we can clearly see that because they both have the same denominator, all you have to look at is the numerator. And we can clearly see that uh, 3/6 is greater than 2/6. So what that means is you put the greater than sign. Now remember that uh, the side with the point right here, this point is pointing to the smaller one, right? It's like the alligator thing, right? The alligator wants to eat the bigger number, so the teeth would be facing the bigger number. Moving on, we have simplest form, right? Each fraction in its simplest form. It's pretty simple. All you do is take a number or take a fraction and uh, you just simplify it. So yeah, so you just make simplest form. I'm pretty sure all of you know how to do this already. So yeah, you shouldn't have too many trouble on this one. Next up, we have equivalent fractions. Write an equivalent fraction. Use multiplication or division. Um, okay, so the example here we have is 2/6 is equal to 1/3 or 4/12. Um, Essentially, all you have to do is multiply or divide both the numerator and the denominator by the exact same number. So what I mean by that is I'll take 2/6 and I'll divide both sides by 2 and I'll get 1/3, right? Because 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1, 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3, so I get 1/3. And now I will multiply both sides by 2 and I will get 2 times 2 is equal to 4 and 2 times 6 is equal to 12. So that's how you would get an equivalent fraction by multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the exact same number. If you were to multiply it by multiply each side by a different number, 3/2, this would equal to 6/12, and this is not an equivalent fraction. So you have to keep that in mind. All right, lastly, here we have complete the fraction. Find the value of the highlighted portion. Um, yeah, basically this is just solving for the missing number. So let's take an example here. Let's take a 1/2 is equal to this over 8, right? So you're solving for that missing number, the numerator that is above 8. Now the way you would solve this is by looking at the two numbers that you do have that are uh, tied to each other, right? So look at the denominators if you have both denominators, or look at the numerators if you have both numerators. Here we have both denominators, so we're going to be looking at 2 and 8. You will take 2 and ask yourself, what times, how does 2 become 8, right? And 2 becomes 8 by multiplying by 4. You can also find this by dividing 8 by 2. And because you divided, you would be multiplying 4. So essentially, now that you've found out that uh, to get 8 from 2, you multiply by 4, all you have to do is take uh, whatever you multiply at the bottom and multiply that to the top to get an equivalent fraction. And so here, we would fill in our answer for 4. This is essentially the same thing for the denominator, right? Let's say you were missing the 8. You would do the exact same thing. How would you get how would you get 4 from 1? You would multiply by 4. And since you're multiplying the numerator by 4, you would also have to multiply the denominator by 4. And you would get 2 times 4 is equal to 8. It's the exact same process. And I don't think any of you would have trouble with this. If you can do uh, equivalent fractions, you can most definitely do complete the fraction. So I wouldn't worry about that. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Keep it up, and I'll see you guys next week.